Hi, everyone. My name is Cindy Menegaz. I am the National Program Director at SMARTTRACK College Funding, and it's a pleasure to be here with Teen Life Expo. We are a company that's been around over 20 years. We've helped over 250,000 families to better organize themselves to pay and better pay less for college. We work with parents while your kids are busy preparing to be the best applicants that they can be. We work with parents on making sure you're as well prepared as possible to handle the financial piece. So I'm going to take my 6 minutes today. It's not enough time to really get into the weeds. So instead, I'm going to share with you a webinar that we are going to do. It's my 1 hour presentation, what you need to know now about paying less for college. And we're doing that specifically for the Teen Life universe on Thursday, August 12th, 7 p.m. Eastern. You'll be able to pre-register. This is a free webinar, but you do need to pre-register, and you can do that from our page on the Teen Life site, and you'll get some messaging about that as well. So I encourage you to do that. But in the meantime, let's talk a little bit about why you might want to attend that webinar and learn more about this subject. Clearly, expensive. College is expensive, certainly more so than when I went to school. Whether you're looking at in-state public universities, out of state public universities, or private institutions, 4 years of college is going to run you anywhere from $80,000 to as much as $320,000 or more per child. Clearly, that's a lot of money, no matter who you are. And how you're going to cover those expenses should be something that you are thinking about. What you may not know is that middle and upper middle income families in particular will overpay for college by an average of $22,000 per year per student. That's a lot. Some of the ways that you can offset that and negate that is by starting as early as you can. And of course, it's great if you start saving for college the minute you find out you're pregnant. But what we're really talking about here is late stage college funding planning. When you have kids that are currently in ninth, 10th, 11th grade, now is when you want to begin thinking about this and making your plans, because the financial decisions that you make in the years before your child applies to college will greatly impact how much you will ultimately pay. Of course, if you have a rising senior, it's not too late. It just means it's 911, and you really need to get on this as quickly as possible before the financial aid application season begins the 1st of October, those of you with rising seniors. Um, Now, if you have any of these kinds of concerns or questions, you really want to participate and hear what we have to say in our hour-long webinar. And that is, maybe you think, wow, we make too much money to qualify for financial aid, but we can't necessarily afford to pay full pop either. Maybe we haven't saved enough for all of our kids. Do you have an effective plan for how you're going to use your income and your assets to cover the considerable costs of educating your kids? If you want to maximize the aid that you're eligible for in terms of free money, merit aid, grants, scholarships, awards, some schools are going to be more generous with your family and your child than others. How do you identify those? Tax strategies might be something that really helps you open up cash flow and spend less out of your own pocket. If you're concerned about risking your retirement, you ought to be, because I think a lot of families will damage their retirement in pursuit of paying for college, and you want to be careful about doing that. Maybe you don't want to become dependent on expensive loans for you or for your student. You don't want to burden them with debt. Or maybe you just don't want to pay more than you have to. These are really important reasons to catch this Parent Ed webinar. So, we're going to be discussing things like how your financial profile will impact how much you ultimately pay for college. And there are actionable steps. You can be proactive in this process. You don't have to just sit back and hope for the best when you submit a financial aid application. Um, the financial aid system is complicated. A lot of people assume that they're not going to qualify, and so they don't engage. I'm here to tell you it's much broader and more inclusive than you may have ever imagined. When you can empower yourself as a parent, you're going to give your student more options. What you want to avoid is having your kid do everything they can, get admitted to their choice school, and then having you look at the real finances and say, oh, I'm so sorry, we just can't afford to do this, or get yourself deep in debt trying to do it. Um, will debunk common myths that are really pervasive out there. I'll walk you through some case studies so you can really get a sense of what college funding planning does. And what I want to bring up is that all of you, as a Teen Life family, have the opportunity to take a free college funding evaluation with one of our professional licensed advisors. There's no cost, there's no obligation, there's certainly no pressure. It's really objective and it'll really give you a good sense of where you are. I recommend that you follow the link in the chat that I just put in. That will take you to a site where you can create a SmartTrack account. Um, Take a quick online assessment and schedule your complimentary evaluation. Before that evaluation appointment, you'll want to attend the webinar so you can really educate yourself. And that way, when you do get on the phone for your evaluation call with an advisor, it'll be more substantive. You'll really understand the whole process and all of the lingo and everything else. So I hope that that'll be really helpful for you and that you'll take advantage of this webinar. We look forward to seeing you on August 12th. Take care. Thanks.